you doing? Thank you very much for joining me. I'm just going to say hi to everybody that I can see in the chat. One second. Hi, Richard. Hi, Margaret. Hi, Mike from Wales. How are you doing? Should I say Yakidar, or is it me getting that wrong? Isn't that good? I think that's good day, isn't it? Nostar is good night. That's about that, and Araf is about my equivalent of the Welsh language. Did any of you manage to see the map that I put up earlier showing the original tribe, well, some of the original tribes of the UK, when it started to be documented? Because let's be honest, it was a long time before that where it wasn't documented. Kind of gives you a kind of look at how the tribes were spread out. One thing I learned a very long time ago, that Wales was far bigger than it is. And I need to make a correction. I said today that we turned the Romans back 3 times. And I've been informed correctly that we did it 4 times. And that the Romans never actually took the Welsh or most of the Scottish. So it was just down to us English, you know, what they ruled. But yeah, I need to make that distinction for you. Hello, Urban Northern, how are you doing? So tonight we're going to look at the big distraction. Hiya, Dawn. While Dawn's in the chat, I would just like to say that she's invented a new phrase, and the new phrase is electric tea. Because we've all been rolling about it all week, because she said that her grandmother was so set in a way she refused to have tea that wasn't made on a hob kettle. It absolutely tickled us. So me and Deb are doing a live on Saturday, and we're going to call it electric tea. Well, hi Floss, how are you doing? Hi Gareth. So, what have the powers that be put in the newspapers to scare us today? Well, obviously, I made myself a few notes. Right, it's 2-1 for you, babe. You go in there. It's really, really warm. We hit 40 on us today, which is, it's, you know, we've had it before, but it's record breaking. But it is no means killer weather, is it? Let's be honest. So, our government have put together some advice for you all, so that you don't die in the heat. And the first thing that they have advised to do, now you might need a pen and paper for this to write this down, it's incredibly important. Tip number 1, sleep downstairs. Get that? So if you're in a bungalow or a flat, I don't know how your neighbours would feel about that, but yeah, just sleep downstairs. What's your problem? So let's have a look at some of the other ones. Now, you might not have worked this out for yourselves, but keep out of the sun at the hottest time of the day. We made a note of that one. If you're going to do physical activity, for example, exercise or walking the dog, they didn't include work in that, so, but if you're going to be doing that kind of exercise, do it during the times when it's not hot. Keep your home cool by closing your curtains in the room that faces the sun. These are amazing, aren't they? Oh, make sure you drink plenty of fluids. When I were a lass, we'll start on that one, we survived the summer of 1976. I think I was 9 years old. And it got so bad in the UK at that point. Now think on, we were unionised then, so none of this making you work 16 hours in this heat. Back then, the government made sure that you only worked maybe 45 minutes, and then you had to sit down and you had to drink a fluid, and then you went back into your works. So people who worked to, say, like the steam mills, or, you know, anywhere that it was tremendously hot, they were allowed to have a 15-minute break every hour, so that they didn't keel over and die. We in schools, like I say, I was 9, so even in schools we were given 2 drinks, and many of you will remember it was like an orangey tasting drink, and it had what it called? I think not microlights. They're what you're flying, Deborah. You get what I mean, don't you? The right sugars and salts in for us. And it actually got so bad where I lived, there was no running water in any of the homes. So there was now you remember we lived in big tall flats, so like apartment buildings to people in other places. And there was a standpipe at the bottom of the pipe, at the bottom of the flats, and you'd go down with your bucket and you was allowed 2 buckets a day. Now think on back then, we didn't have refrigeration. Or so we were keeping out like our water, milk, cordial, that kind of thing, cold in the water, normally in a cold bucket in the coldest bit of the house, like your eggs and stuff like that. And a lot of homes in the northwest, and I presume it's the same in other parts of the UK, had what you call a cold stone. So most of the homes that I've lived in have had a cold stone. So it's normally a small cupboard, and the stone in it is cold, and that's where you keep like your meats and butter, things like that. So we managed, we managed through all of that absolutely fine, and we have done every year since. The thing that we don't do is we don't educate anymore. So we don't do the don't jump in deep water. You know, don't, if you feel tired, go in and have a nap, lie down. You know, make sure you're drinking lots of fluids. Tell us how much you're supposed to be drinking. Your average bit doesn't know, including myself, what is a healthy amount of fluid to drink in a day. And I'm not talking the devil's liquid. I'm talking about fluid in any, but what is it? You tell us to make sure that we're hydrated, but I'm unsure what my level of hydration should be. But like I say, the government are on it. So Dawn's saying all the water was cut off. We had standpipes up the lane, and it was, honestly, it was an adventure. Where I lived, Dawn, we were little shits, and we would, the bits where the fire brigade would come and fill up their hoses, we'd turn them. So we get these like geysers. Yeah. So we actually had police on horseback that went round. It was like tower block after tower block after tower block. Lovely. It was great to go up there, don't get me wrong, but it was rough. So yeah, we were doing that, and some people would like selling water. So we actually had mounted police, and the only time I've ever seen that happen in Salford was when we had the riots. We're seeing a lot of it now, aren't we, around us in the news and everything, what's going on. And honestly, those riots weren't about that. Those riots were about entitled people who'd never paid into the system, who wanted more freebies and couldn't get them. So they smashed every business up that they could. Mostly small businesses, absolutely ruining people. Some of you will remember that they burnt a store down that was around about 200 years old, been passed down from father to son. And people were stealing and rioting in the streets and taking bags of Tesco rice that was at the time. I was ashamed to death of me, my countryman then, let's be honest. And we have to give them a pass, and I'll tell you why we have to give them a pass. In mine and your generation and our parents, the government gave actual good advice, right? So they would educate at school, and they would educate over the radio or whatever, actual advice that would keep you safe. And they would also teach us things that, say we have a power cut or something like that, they would teach you how to cope with that. If you have, you will all remember all the old adverts. You had the one with the family in the house, and the water suddenly starts pouring out of the boiler upstairs. So we had safety videos and stuff like that kind of taught you stuff. And for all, we're now flooded with media. We're not flooded with things like that, aren't we? And we're not a make, mend and do kind of nation anymore. Lots of us are. But that is a very dying thing, isn't it? That if something breaks, rather than just throwing it out and buying a new one, you at least try and repair it or reuse it in some way. So we were all used to working, and our fathers worked on the docks, on the ships, on building sites, you know, plumbing in small places, doing electrics. And they would do that for 10, 11, 12 hours a day and come home to nothing. You know, and now we have all of these fans. You know, we have technology. You can probably get a bra with a fan in, for all I know. I've seen them at Winter with a body warmer on, with fans in. Don't wear the body warmer. Wear layers of cotton. You know, that's what we were taught. But with that, now think on. We've all moved downstairs, remember, because we took the government's advice. So we should be fine now, shouldn't we? We've had nothing to worry about here. We've had loads of info. We know what we're doing. And there's an awful lot going on in the world at the moment, which I can't say on here because they'll take my channel. But we should be concentrating on that. But what our government are really good at doing is the distraction thing. So let's have a look at some of the things that you need to worry about because you're all about to die overnight. So make sure you're well fluided before you do. Let's have a look at it. We'll do the Welsh first. Let's do the Welsh one. You ready? Everybody in Wales, get ready for this one. Oh, it makes me so mad. It really does. Right, you ready? False widow spiders are spreading through Wales, but that's not what they titled it. Every single year known to man, false widow spiders come in, and massive amount of other spiders come in to our homes every year. And every single year we have this headline: killer spiders invade the UK. Now, they're not that hard to get rid of. When you're walking about with a dog or whatever next week and you see a conker, because we're not far off, probably about 3 week off conkers, you'll be seeing falling in the room, but they'll not be ready. Get a conker and put it in every room in your house. They ate them, spider, and they'll stay away from you. And they'll go into cracks and crevices where you won't see them, and they will eat all of the fruit flies and all of the other bugs, you know, daddy long legs, mayflies, the whole 9 yards. Like, you come into your house, and what it's called existing with nature. So you don't need to go and buy any chemicals in a spray. There are lots of things that you can do. Now, it's not just spiders this week. We've also, now if we dodge the spiders, if we do that really, really well, and we dodge the spiders and we make it through the night, I'm really sorry to upset you and let you know that murder wasps are also on the way. Murder wasps, Deborah. Murder wasps. And you know how you can get rid of them? I can't believe I'm sat here reading this. The fact that someone got paid probably about 150,000 for writing these articles is what's astounding me. Don't worry, there is a cure for murder wasps. And that cure is, I'm not lying, Brits told to buy a cucumber as murder wasps are on the way. You heard it here, folks. Aggressive murder wasps. Aggressive murder wasps could invade UK homes over the coming weeks, with Brits urged to keep windows firmly shut to prevent them from gaining entry. Now, you said on the government thing that I'm supposed to open my windows and close my curtains. So if I open my windows and close my curtains, the murder wasps and the killer spiders can get in and get me. So which one is it? Let me know. Yeah. The humble cucumber could also help to ward them off, apparently producing a chemical reaction when combined with another common household. Why have we not known this for years and years? We've had cucumbers for years, I know we have. I don't have to go on Google and say how long have we had cucumbers in the UK, because it'll just say, are you stupid? They're not just coming, they are expected to descend in their thousands, and they are aggressive creatures. And they could stick around until the end of August. What we had? Oh Lord, it's only the 13th. Oh my Lord. Right. A massive surge in pest control firms. I wonder if it was them who wrote this article, actually, thinking about it. Whoever wrote this article's brother-in-law's got a pest control that specialises in wasps and spiders. The figures projected are to worsen in August, yeah. We're in August, you've only just warned us. What about the other 12 days? That's my neighbour's dog doing what it does. Yeah, so that's it, nothing else, just that the humble cucumber will save you. So, while I'm sat here in my garden, because it's the coolest place to be right at this moment, my husband is melted on the couch. It looks really nice and cool where I am, doesn't it? And that's because everything's really overgrown and the sun can't get in. Out the front, it is unbelievable. So we've been sensible. We've only gone out when we've absolutely had to. Dog's not had his walk yet. We'll wait until later till it's really, really cool, and then he'll get a really good walk and an early morning walk as well. I'm hydrated. I don't know how much I'm supposed to be. Can you hear me talking about it? So the best place for him to be now is either lay on my bed because it's really cool in the bedroom, or out here with me in the back garden where it's nice and shady. So that's what he's doing. He's a big dog. He gets hot and he's white, and it's worse for white dogs than white horses. You know, you ever seen a pig with the suntan? They can get in a right state. But yeah, so what did Gareth say? I need to know what Gareth said about murder wasps. There was an enormous spider in the conservatory this morning. It was big enough to have its own key. Oh, Gareth, I think, I think you might need to sleep upstairs tonight, which is opposite what the government suggested you should do. How are you supposed to navigate life when all of the information around you is the opposite to the one that you've just heard and entertained? I have no words, people. I really don't. I might take up drinking. I was having to think about it before. I might be able to get through life better if the edges were just a bit fuzzy most of the time. I tell you. I was writing some notes yesterday when I was having my little rant. The couple things I want to clear up. I was wrong when I said we should stop everyone coming off the boats. I know. I should take into account that there are women and children on those boats. And when I see women and children on those boats, I will change my mind. That's not what I'm seeing where I live. We all live in different bits of the UK, don't we? So, and we're all getting fed different information, so it's bound to differ. I think what I was trying to say was, I meant it more in the sense of standing together as a nation, because I'm seeing a lot of, like, what do the Americans say, ratchet? A lot of low down, scummy behaviour, you know, like ordering £200 worth of meals from a small restaurant and walking out, or stealing from a farm shop, or a corner shop where the guy's probably getting up at 5 in the morning and working till 11, 12 at night, because I've worked in shops like that. I think I meant that. I think I meant to overturn what we're seeing now, what we're all seeing. I went to, last year, if you remember, I did a talk, and I went down to, oh, get it right now, right the way down south I went. It'll come to me. But anyway, it was a beautiful little village. Absolutely beautiful. And it was kind of untouched. Now, it was so different to where I live. I remember thinking there are still pockets that, you know, little Tudor houses. It was beautiful. But at the night, there was some rowdiness and youths of all descriptions on, like, electric scooters and, you know, smoking weed, chucking stuff around and all of that. And he was like, I think I meant that. Like, that kind of... Because I'm all for chucking them out as well, you know. If you're fourth generation on the dole and none of you have worked and you've all got it free, and, like, our government turns around and says to you, well, no, your kids are in school now, you can get a job. There's going to be loads of jobs available, aren't there, if they go through with getting people. It's kind of swings and roundabouts, people. What I'm more about is heritage restoration. That's the best way that I can put it. I just want my kids and my grandkids to have it like I did growing up. That's it. That's all I want. I want them to be able to play out in the park without them being scared and the parents of me being scared. I want women to be able to get off the bus at 11 at night when they finish a shift and walk home without anything happening to them. And when I'm talking now, I'm talking all the people in the world, every colour, every shape. There are bad people in every society. And it's that I want to rage against, is probably the best way to put it. Rage against. And the only way I know how to deal with my rage is humour. It's the only way I know how to do it. It's all like, it works, doesn't it? It even works on me, the government stuff, because I literally sat down today and thought, our government is so ridiculous. But I'm reading these stories, and there's all this other stuff going on around me, and it's totally, you know, it's blinkered me to some things, let's put it like that. So yeah, but I knew when I decided to do something that wasn't Bigfoot or paranormal related that it might not go down too well. But I don't mind. But yeah. So Flosky's put, what will we do if the murder was and deadly spiders? join forces. We're all doomed. We're all doomed. We'll have to run to the hills. Don't forget your cucumber and your conker. You're going to need a conker as well. It's madness, isn't it? Oh, I'm going back and having a read of these comments. You lot get to do it as I'm talking. Oh, what's kind of full? Let's have a look. Oh, Margaret said she got tar stuck in her knees at the park. She fell off the roundabout that had just been in the heat. Pitch, we used to call that. In the pitch in the road. Oh, that is so... They put those in Margaret on playgrounds. I know they're great for when the heat hits them and they're not under shade. They are ridiculously warm, aren't they? You know, they are ridiculous. Are you, Paddy? How are you doing? Karma for Stam. Don't talk to me about karma and cucumbers. I'll be an hashtag in the morning if you do that. But yeah, I was right, and I put today, it's just a big distraction, isn't it? It's like, how can we occupy today? And then they won't. But I don't mean you guys, because you're all woke, and loads of people are woke. I mean, you know, if that's all you're getting fed on a daily basis,